Good morning. Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. It's Wednesday, May the 3rd. Thanks for joining us this morning. Hope you're having a good week so far. Got a few more days left this week. Big week next week. We've got a couple of graduations here at HCC. Of course, our main commencement next Friday. And then we also have the Text Chase, which is the high school equivalency graduation. That's happening next Tuesday. So busy week for our graduates and our students, and it's good to have you with us. Now, we're going to be live most days when HCC is in session at 10 a.m. on Facebook and YouTube. My co-host this morning, Montrose Cunningham from the Northwest College. Montrose, good to see you.
Good morning, Todd. How are you?
I'm doing good. Having a good week so far. You know, the other day, one of your colleagues was on the show, Dr. Ilana Pagao.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, I saw her. I watch every day. So
yeah, you guys are all over the place this week. You know, I know you got a big week next week with graduation as well. A lot of your students are going to be being celebrated in the commencement.
Is it really May? Weren't we just coming back from December, from Christmas vacation and all of that?
Literally, I mean, April seems like 3 days ago.
Yes.
It was. Yeah. I know it's gone by so fast. I mean, we're already registering for the fall, not just summer, but the fall of 2023.
Right. Yeah, it's flown by, but we're really excited. There's a lot of energy, a lot of stuff going on campus, all of the getting ready for finals and all of those preparations. So it's a fun time.
It's a fun time, a very busy time for not just us, but a lot of us as well. So Montrose, folks are watching us on Facebook Live and YouTube, but they can also watch us anytime in social media, and we're also on HCCTV.
That's right. We're live on Houston Community College District Facebook, not HCC page, and the YouTube. And we're also on Twitter, LinkedIn, and on HCCTV at noon, 5 and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
All right, so Montrose, stick around because you're going to be interviewing this next guest. Dr. Derek Irvin is the program director for the HCC's Alternative Teacher Certification Program. Good to see you, Derek. How are you doing?
I'm well, Todd. Good to see you again. Nice to meet you, Montrose.
You too.
We're looking forward to hearing from you in the near future. So stick around. Montrose is going to be with you in about 10 minutes.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, we're going to kick things off. We've got Dr. Lauran Kerr-Heraly, and we're spotlighting actually one of her accomplishments. She's a 2023 NISOD Award winner for extraordinary in teaching and leadership excellence. Good to see you, Lauran. Thanks for being on the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So the Chancellor just announced 5 faculty members for winning the prestigious NISOD Award, which stands for the National Institute for Staff and Organizational Development. Tell us why you think you were chosen, and starting with your work at the West Houston Institute.
Okay, well, I like to have my hands on a lot of pies, if you will, and I'm really interested in innovative teaching practices and multidisciplinary activities and coming up with project-based learning for both my online and in-person classes. So my work at the West Houston Institute, I was fortunate to be chosen in my second year at HCC as an innovation fellow, and that was the 2020 year. So we were fully online, and we got really creative about how we could be innovative in that space. And in the course of that time, for my individual project, developed an escape room. And because we were all online, it became something that we did during our virtual classes. And I would put students into breakout rooms and have them do a series of puzzles, essentially using their content knowledge to get out of the virtual room, the breakout room. And then it blossomed into a permanent installation at the West Houston Institute. So anyone who wants to, students, HR groups, day camps, whoever wants to use it can participate in the escape room at the West Houston Institute. Just contact me. I'll set it up for you.
Tell me, for people, people who may not be familiar, those outside of the educational world, we've got deans, we've got chairs. Tell us what an innovation fellow is.
Sure. It's a group of about 10 to 15 people who are chosen, faculty and staff. And we spend a year learning about design thinking, learning about innovative principles, learning about accepting risk, accepting failure, things like that, so that you can sort of push through to think about things that are different. So in my cohort, we were looking at the possibility of microbadging for things outside the classroom. So we're still working toward that goal of having basically an innovation badge for students who participate in the West Houston Institute projects. And so it's something extra to kind of put on their resume. But the cohort is really great because you do an individual project, you do a cohort project, and then you're meeting with people who are in different disciplines, in advising, in HR, that kind of thing. And so it's across multiple platforms of the college.
I know you recently we covered the Back to the Foodture program, the event that happened over at the Culinary Arts Building. Maybe you can tell us, because I didn't realize that you were involved with that. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. The Back to the Foodture project originated a couple of years ago. And again, it was the 2020 year, and we had planned to do a big food festival, and we had all these plans. But since then, we pivoted to make it an interdisciplinary event, and we worked closely with the culinary arts, specifically the pastry arts, and biology, English, library, and history so far, but we'd love to have more. We've talked to environmental science and some other departments about coming on with us, but essentially the students will choose, the pastry students choose something to create, and then the history students, the biology, etc., will write something to go along with it. So my history students that I mentored, one of them did the history of sugar, one of them did the history of the certain dessert that they were covering. And they put a video together, and then on the actual day of the event, we go and we taste the pastries, we see the videos, the teams meet each other. And that's really fun because the students are not necessarily on the same campuses. Sometimes they haven't met until the actual event. So that's something I'm really interested in, is forming connections. And in my own work in my classroom, I have a food project so that students can connect the importance of food in their own culture and families to their own personal histories. And that is really amazing because you see them kind of come alive to certain things. You know, I have students that'll come to me and they'll say, the most important dish in my family is rice and beans, or it's pho, or it's chocolate chip cookies, but these are really normal things. And I say, well, it's not normal if it's important to you. And so they get to interview their families. They write about the history. They do historical research. And it's always great to see how they make these connections to history and to something that they think is normal as actually being very important to history.
What is, I'm interested personally, what you're bringing all these disciplines in, what exactly were the biology students? How were they involved?
So they were doing the nutritional components. And so a lot of them, we laughed because we said, okay, well, now the history students and the pastry students have told us how great this is. And now the biology students are going to tell us not to eat sugar.
Yeah.
But they'll look at the nutritional contents. And then we've had chemistry students before as well. And so they'll talk about the kind of chemistry side of food.
Tell us about the classes that you've been teaching.
So I teach primarily history, the two American surveys, and then I also teach Texas history. So this semester my goal this year was to convert all of my classes to project-based learning. And what that means is that for me, 50% of their grade and time is spent on projects. And I break it down and we spend all semester doing this. But in my American history, the first half of the survey, they're looking at the meaning of the phrase life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And so they read a book about that was different perspectives on the Declaration of Independence from the perspective of different countries, and what it looked like in translation, and what it looks like when we translate from French back to English or whatever. And so they looked about 12 different countries, compared and contrasted. They had a big discussion. They wrote a paper, and then they interviewed other people about what is the meaning of the phrase life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And then I took them into the idea studio at the West Houston Institute, which has a 3D printer, a laser cutter, t-shirt maker, all kinds of fun stuff. And I said, make an artifact that represents life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for you. And then, so some of them have done things like one of them wrote about, it was an emblem that was sort of it was actually a tattoo that she had, but then she put it onto a water bottle and said, "This is what happiness means to me and why." And then I had her write something about how it connects to the project. And then I had some students make podcasts and some students make films, and they were talking about their experience of immigration or experiences of how their family sort of interpreted this phrase. So that was really cool. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like also some of them, you get some of the oral histories from these students as well.
Definitely. And I think that's really significant because not only is it presentation skills and learning something like the art of the interview, but it's also something that they can catalog. Because I tell them before they do the food history stories, and especially I said, get ready to hear some family secrets, because you think you're interviewing them about gumbo, but you're going to learn that great grandpa came from wherever, and you probably have a secret cousin you didn't know about, all that. But it's interesting to them because they think that they're just talking about food, but the oral histories are significant. And I take them through the process of, this is how you do it properly. You get release forms. These are the questions that you ask. This is how you follow up. This is how you record it. And here's a transcript, because we want to keep these. And some of them have printed them off, and they're preparing them to give them to their moms for Mother's Day, which I think is very sweet.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Dr. Lauran Kerr-Heraly, we really appreciate you joining us on the show. Congratulations on your award for the 2023 NISOD Awards. Thanks for joining us. We'll have all your information in our post after the show.
Thank you so much.
All right. Congrats once again. Okay. We're going to turn things over to Montrose. And Montrose, you got a special guest going to talk about our education program to get certified as a teacher.
That's right. We're moving on to Dr. Derek Irvin, Program Director of HCC's Alternative Teacher Certification Program and Professor of the Correctional Education Program. Welcome back to the show, Dr. Irvin.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Montrose. Good to be here.
Nice meeting you. So yours is a state-approved comprehensive educator program, or an EPP. What exactly does that mean?
So we were certified back in 2002. That was our inaugural program when we got started, some 20 plus years ago. And what that means is we are recognized by TEA and SBAC as an alternative certification program, whereby we provide instruction to would-be teachers.
Okay. So you've also received some other certifications from the state board. Is that correct?
Yeah, we just went through it's been 2 years. 2 years last month, in fact. In March. We went through our 5-year continuing review audit, did very well in that, rebuilt the program as we were flying in the air, brought on an entirely new, completely different staff, brought on new instructors, and got a lot out of that review, whereby we lots of suggestions were made in terms of what we can do to improve the program. And that's what TEA does and is supposed to do. And so we're continuing to move forward in transforming our program. We have partnered with some community partners, one of which have granted us a $150,000 grant to just change some things, everything from policy to programming, instruction, you name it.
Okay, so it sounds like this is a continuing work in progress that you all continue to make improvements.
Exactly.
Now, how many program certification areas does HCC offer, and what do they cover?
We offer some 15 different certification training in 15 different certification areas. I won't name them all, but everything from mathematics, science, social studies, English language arts, the core subjects, for example, core subjects EC6, which means when you hear core, that means you have, say, the 5 main instructional educational courses like math, reading, English, etc. We provide instruction in 15 different certification areas. Those students, when they're coming into our program, will receive instruction based on that certification journey, and we prepare them to actually take their various exams. Every student that comes into an EPP program, whether it's ours or another, will take at least 2 different exams. And one is their content, and that was what I was just alluding to. And the other would be their PPR, or the professional responsibilities exam. And basically the PPR is just simply, it's an exam. In short, it's basically how to teach. How would the students in our program take the knowledge and skills that they've obtained in our program and apply that in an educational setting?
I see. So is that part of the educator preparation curriculum that you're talking about?
That is correct. That is correct. Okay. So all students will receive, a certain amount of hours of instruction. There is a number of courses that they're going to specifically take for their certification area or certification pathway. Once they do that, and we release them to take their exams, and then there's a couple of other things they'll have to do, like field supervision and or field observation, pre-service observations, before they actually get into the internship portion. But they'll go through the instruction first. Then we'll release to take their respective exams. And there is also what's called pre-service observation hours that they're required to take. And that's 30 hours. And that's, again, in every single educator preparation program in Texas. And I'm probably going to say probably in the nation, whereby there's a requirement that these students go out in the field and observe a teacher of record or a teacher that's already certified, teaching in that subject area or areas and grade level that student that's in our program is trying to get their certification in. And the wonderful thing about it is that the state not only wants them to observe, these students to observe teachers that are teaching in their subject areas or at their grade levels, but more importantly, they want this to be an immersive experience. They want those students to actually get into that classroom and work with that teacher and teach and engage and interact with those students. That's 30 hours that they have to complete. And there's certain documentation that they have to fill out and bring back to the program that we have to provide to the state. Once they do that, pass their respective exams, they land their internship, and then they go out into the field to teach for a year. Typically, it's either going to be fall and spring or spring and fall, whereby the student goes through that internship process, and it's a paid internship.
Okay. Yes, I was going to ask about the internships. And, I think that's really good that, I come from an education family, a family of teachers. And, excuse me, one of the most important things is getting that experience actually in the classroom.
Yes.
And so being able to do that, I'm sure, is extremely beneficial for, students when they get out of that, actually having a teacher there instead of just being thrown into the classroom.
Yes, exactly.
Without any kind of experience.
Exactly. And I want to thank you for your service and thank your family for their service of teaching. Yes. That is something I've been saying now. I've been back at this program now at the head for 3 years. And just with all of what has happened with COVID has catapulted others like myself, who's in the business of training teachers to get into the field. It has just catapulted us into this place where we're having these necessary conversations about how do we rebrand what we do? What do we do to make it better? And it's always money, right? Money always comes up, salaries always comes up, and money may not be the answer to everything, but I think I heard Les Brown, the motivational speaker, say one day that it's right up there with oxygen. So having all these conversations right now, due to COVID having just brought us all to the table to talk about how we can make things better, what we can do to make things better. And one thing in terms of salary, 2015, I think in the United States, the average salary was $57,000. In Houston, in Texas in 2015, the average was $50,000. Here in Houston today in 2023, because of these various conversations that we're all having amongst ourselves and or with the authorities or the powers that be, the average salary for our area in Houston now is $62,000. So things are changing. It's a good time to consider strongly becoming a teacher. And thank you again, Montrose, to you and your family, and to all the others who are listening for your service as teachers.
Yes. And thank you for helping train teachers because as you said, it's extremely important. So thank you, Dr. Derek Irvin, Program Director of HCC's Alternative Teacher Certification Program, and professor of the Correctional Educational Program, and we'll have your info in our post after the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pleasure to meet you.
You too.
All right. Thank you both. Okay. We've got a few news and announcements coming up. The HCC Chamber Singers host high schools. Local high school choirs from Fort Bend ISD and the North Houston Early College High School will join the HCC Chamber Singers, all under the direction of Camilla Ross. A mixer will follow the concert. At 7:30 p.m. Thursday, May the 4th, this Thursday. It is free, and it's at HCC's Heinen Theater. No need to register. All it's welcome. In Montrose, you know that date that this is happening? May the 4th. It's a big day.
Yeah.
You know, anybody a Star Wars fan, it's a big day. So
may the 4th be with you.
That's exactly right. And then it's followed by, Cinco de Mayo, which this year happens to be on a Friday, which is an extra bonus there as well.
Yes. And on Cinco de Mayo, we'll be celebrating online. We have an Instagram One College exhibition. So Instagram will be our gallery walls for our exhibition that features all studio classes from all the colleges in the HCC system. So the viewing link will be available at noon this Friday, May 5th, and it's free. And the Instagram page is HCC at HCC_visual_arts. And all previous semesters are online now. So for info, we'll have our email in the post after the show.
There's also a Media Arts Student Showcase, Spring 2023, the end of the semester compilation of students' projects from the Media Arts programs, includes filmmaking, audio recording, and music business. A tentative showcase program and guide includes TV field and production, lighting, cinematography, directing, audio recording. It's all free, and it's available at HCC's Northwest Spring Branch Performing Arts Center. And it happens from 6 to 9 p.m. Saturday, May the 13th. So that's all going on. No need to register. Everyone is welcome. And congrats to our 2 graduation cover winners.
That's right. For spring and fall, with this year's commencement approaching, HCC held a competition that called on all students to share their skills for designing the cover of the 2023 spring and fall commencement. Hong Wong Pham and Christopher Cruz produced the winning entries and will receive an iPad for their efforts. Not a bad prize.
No, congrats to those students. Got a favorite faculty member? Well, if you have a standout instructor who inspires you personally, academic or professionally, the HCC Faculty Senate Professional Development Committee is accepting nominations for the Faculty Teaching Excellence Award. It recognizes a commitment to student success. Nominations will be accepted through August 31st, and the 3 selected faculty winners will be announced at the 2023 Bedichek Orman auction. Check our post after the show for all the details. And as we mentioned at the top of the show, fall registration is open, Montrose. Whether you're ready for this year to be moving on or not, we're ready to sign up students for the fall.
That's right. But you can still register for summer. So hurry if you want to secure your course, professor, and location and all of that. Classes offered in person and online options. We have online anytime. No established class meetings times unless listed, online on a schedule, hybrid, in-person, and hybrid lab. And to learn more about HCC programs, start dates, and options to cover costs, go to hccs.edu/apply.
Okay, so we're about to wrap up today's show, but tomorrow on the show, we've got Inclusive Access Coordinator Donald Parker be here to talk about textbook savings, including zero cost and low cost textbooks. At registration time, this topic is very important. So that's going to happen. And our Thursday Family Fun Day will feature s'mores with reptiles.
Okay.
We'll learn. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Brazos Bend State Park is hosting just such an event. So that's going to be interesting.
Yes.
I said on the show yesterday, believe it or not, I do own a reptile.
Oh, really?
I do. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I have an iguana. Yeah. A little iguana. So maybe I'll show him on the show tomorrow. I'm going to be here tomorrow. Yeah. Maybe Friday. Who knows? But one day I can show debut.
We temporarily owned a reptile about a week ago when my daughter found a snake in the bathroom.
Did you get rid of the reptile right away too?
I did, and I kept it alive and got it outside. But yes, so,
sent it on happily on its way, right?
Yes.
Yeah, got rid of it. Yeah, I get that. That's the best thing to do, folks. Montrose, thanks for being here this morning. We appreciate you joining us to co-host the show.
Always enjoy it. Thanks for having me.
All right, folks, and thanks to all of you for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Oh, and Sade is here tomorrow, 10 a.m. She'll be live for Up to the Minute.
All right.